Hey, what's happening, folks? Welcome back to Double G Outdoors TV. Well, we're getting started here this morning. Things got a little crazy yesterday. I had to pull off the lake. My mother got in a pretty serious car wreck, so spent the rest of the day in the hospital. So my wife and I, we didn't get a chance to finish up what we were doing. We just seemed like we were just starting to find fish. So today I'm hitting the pond before I have to go to the hospital to visit. So stick around, let's see what we can find out here. See if I can catch any fish here. Yeah, start recording and here they go, all the honkers. So it's about 6:30 in the morning on a Monday Memorial Day actually. You know, just trying to see if we can catch any fish today. Like I said, I had to come off the lake early yesterday after we just started really finding fish. We did get enough to have a mess. I think we got 5 or 6 keeper crappie, and that's it. Last few times we haven't caught a whole bunch of, a whole bunch, but it's super foggy out, so right now, let's see what we can do. My mom got in a pretty serious car wreck. She's still in the hospital, her and her best friend, and they both got a broke ankle, and her best friend's got a broken wrist, gonna have to have surgery, and they kept them in the hospital at least overnight, possibly a day or two, for observation stuff purposes, because they're, getting older. So it was absolutely pretty serious. So we got that news while we were on the lake, and dang it. We had to pull off real quick and try to get rid of the boat to get back out to head to downtown to go back down to OSU Hospital where they got taken to. My mom's car was completely totaled, and with her, she was needing knee surgery anyway, so she was walking really bad with a rollator and things, and if she couldn't have the rollator, she had to have a cane no matter what. Well, now she's got a broken ankle to add to the top of that list. So yeah, it has been super cool. Super cool weekend. Now, I struggled yesterday catching fish, and then I kind of figured out why. And then I started catching crappie after I figured out why. Pretty positive it was how I was using. Oh, hooked up. I was using bobbers, largemouth, and the bobber I was using was kind of short tipped. It was a Mr. Crappie bobber, which are what, I ain't gonna say it's the best bobber, but it was, yeah, we got the skunk off. But anyhow, I changed out that bobber and went to, all right, guys, let me help you out here. Let's get you back in. There you go. Went to my normal size bobber with a, a little longer tip and stuff, and I'll be danged, man. As soon as I did that, I started catching crappie. I was getting the action out of the minnow and stuff because I was slip corking yesterday. Because man, I couldn't get a fish to bite on a jig yesterday, which has been fire for me lately. That's been what I've been catching all my fish on, is jigs, no minnows. The wife caught a few on the minnows, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go with minnows today. Caught that on a boat flip blue. You guys know that's probably my new favorite color right now. What a solid color. Bass and crappie seem to really like it. I did bring some minnows left over from yesterday. I'm in a process. I just bought most of the material to build my minnow tank at home. I'm building a do-it-yourself type of minnow so we can keep our minnows longer. So I got most of the stuff. So I was planning on working on that yesterday afternoon when we got in from the lake. Obviously not dreaming that I'd get the phone call that my mom was in a pretty bad car wreck, you know. So that turned in from a I don't know, 1:30 to I got home at I think 10 or 10:30 last night. Ooh, we're hooked up. Oh! I'm no longer hooked up. So, just trying to make the best of it today because I'll be going back to the hospital sometime. Because I don't know if she's going to get out today or tomorrow. They don't know. They said they'd probably keep her for a couple days. Pretty crazy. You don't never know, man. You know, all it takes is one little mistake out there. The next thing you know, boom, everything's different. Like, the car she ended up hitting, the people in the car got hurt even. I don't know exactly what all their injuries were, but they got hurt and they got taken to the hospital just like she did. And they were coming home. They were coming home from church. So things just sometimes just happen. And she's pretty upset, you know, everybody got hurt before she got taken out of the car, because it couldn't, the airbags, everything. She was kind of trapped in the car, and they told her don't get out of the car because she was on the freeway. She was sitting there praying, not for herself. She was praying for everybody else. Said she prayed so hard, said no, she ever had prayed that hard. She thought, you know, when she hit the other people, because she did hit them, it was her fault. She was sighted, but obviously it was an accident. She didn't mean to, but the traffic at that particular location has a tendency to just sometimes just stop, boom, right there, and there's an exit right there. And man, I've had it happen to me there, but she was like, man, it just stopped, and I looked away for just a second, looked over at her dash or something, or phone or something, I don't know, something, and she looked away, and when it happened, she looked back up, and she said the alerts on her car was going off, collision alerts, and said it was too late. She said it was just too late. So she said she felt very bad. And I think they all got taken to the same hospital, so I know her best friend is in the hospital with her, and there's several around. Ooh, I just got a good hit there. It was around the bend from her friend. They wasn't in the same room, and then when they both got told, oop, we're hooked up. There he goes, little largemouth. Ooh, man, he had fighting like the dickens. Look at him. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look at that little guy. Another one on the old boat flip blue, folks. Catch more bait. Like again, I'm catching these little ones. I haven't even had a chance to target big bass or nothing. Get out and get some awesome actual largemouth content for you guys. Kind of wait until the crappie thing kind of slows down a little bit because it's still cool outside. So kind of hoping, because it just doesn't feel to me like these things have really turned on with a spawn. I mean, I haven't caught no fish at all that is males that have turned colors. You know, I've caught a couple and it wasn't even turned much. So there has not been a lot of, hasn't been a lot of fish caught. You know, I feel like I've been catching more females, which I know I have, is the ones we have kept is had some eggs in them, so it just, I don't know. But I've had twice now that I thought the fish were about to go into full spawn, and then it was just like nothing. And I know they don't spawn for one day, you know what I mean? But our weather's been so up and down, so much rain, so much wind. Oh. But I think they said this year's like, I forget what they call it, but it was something like, I honestly thought it was El Nino type of weather, where this is what it was going to be, a lot of wind this year, and a lot of, you know, and I was like, because I've been wondering all year, man, I said, man, this is, anybody else think this is weird? I mean, I've seen so much wind, it's just unbelievable for the spring. That's the other thing. I don't remember the last time there was this much undergrowth in here this early in the year. I've seen it in, you know, July, but late June. Now, I am going to throw some minnows here shortly. Again, folks, this spot's just convenient for me up the street. I've just had freaking busy season so far. My seasons are always busy compared to most people's stuff. I have a schedule. Look there, guys. What do I not like? That is not mine. That was here when I got here this morning. I hate that. I really wish that people would pick their trash up and teach their kids to pick their trash up. Teach them now. There we go. Hooked up. That looks like a crappie. That is a crappie. Yeah, boy. Yeah. All right. All right, he's a little one. He ain't nothing but about an 8-inch crappie, 7-8-inch crappie. But, folks, he wears a label. Give him a little, got him on the old Boatfoot Blue. Now see, there's not a whole lot of ponds, I'm gonna tell you folks, that have crappie in them. At least not around here. And this one does, and I love that fact. I told my wife, because crappie are hard to manage in a pond. Number one, they lay so many eggs. It's like 90 to 50,000 for black crappie, and it's like 100,000 to like 250,000 for white crappie per female, you know, per season. So it's hard to keep the numbers down. And then what happens is you get a bunch of stunted fish that never get big. And like a place like this, unfortunately, I hate to say it. Ooh, I think I'm got, yep. Oh, place like this, you know, most people, this is a community hole, so most people don't pull them. By not pulling your fish out, and you know, you do have to have a management. You do have to have management numbers, folks. You do have to, I don't care what anybody thinks, you have to manage the fish. There has to be a healthy mix. And I'm not telling you to go in there and open a place up like this and say, here, you know, Take the daily 30-day limit like the state requirement. It's 30 days, 9 inches. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you, cut the limit down and tell them you can take 10 fish. Or you can take, I don't know, you know, but they got to be over, you know, you can take 6, 10 fish, but they all got to be over, whatever, 11 inches. And that'll gives the big fish a chance to, or the small fish, I mean, a chance to prosper. The sooner we learn that, you know, it makes it a little easier. And this looks like a monster hole, but I swear to you, unless it's right out in that very middle, this isn't a super, super deep hole. Ooh, crappie, drilled it. That one's a little nicer, close to the same size. He might be 9. He might be 9. But like, you know, people think, oh, this is a community hole. I'm not going to take any fish from a community hole. I want to be able to catch them again. Well, yeah, but you also, you know, same thing like deer hunting. You need to manage the numbers. You know, if you don't manage the numbers, what do you think happens? I was torn this morning. I was almost going to go catfishing. Because I got a river that's, creek that's just, you know, when the water's up like it is and flooding and things like that, when that water's moving in this creek, it's on the north end of my lake, man, oh man, you want to talk about drilling the fish, the catfish. And I mean, sometimes it's all you can do to work 2 rods. There's so many. And I'm like, that is such a fun day. And it's so action-packed. And I'm like, well, it's about a 25-minute drive, and it's not that it's the distance, because I don't care about that. I just don't think I got enough time, not knowing if they're going to call and say, hey, we're going to cut her loose in a couple hours. Well, I'm an hour away from her right now, where I'm at, from my house. So it's like, hey, I'm going to have to make tracks to go get her. So this makes it easy. Come up here, catch a couple crappie, a couple largemouth already. I've caught 4 fish. I've been here 15 minutes. And there is good sized crappie in here too. I mean, I caught a couple small ones there, but I mean, there is good sized crappie here. And believe it or not, there's some nice largemouth in here. From time to time, you get into them. I'm not targeting them really, you know. Come on, fit. Oh, hooked up. And that's a crappie. Got us another crappie. I told you it was crappie time. Oh. All right, self-release. There he went. Off and running. Off and running. Don't think that's what swiped at me though. That hit it out there a little farther. Could have been, because it did swipe and go that direction. A lot of graduations. My buddy's son graduated. Shout out to Josiah. Some other friends of mine, former student, graduated. Skyline Elliott, she good for them. Well, if you like watching fish catches and stuff, and like, comment, subscribe, share the channel with your friends. We're growing slowly. Oh, we're hooked up. That's a crappie. Look at him. See that silver? Yeah, he's a crappie. You know, crappie, we love catching our crappie, but we like catching everything. Me and my wife do a lot of fishing. We've done more here since kids have gotten a little older. Now, we're not catching no monsters this morning so far, but look at there. Good healthy fish, black. See this spot right here? See this line? That's their lateral line, which is everything that kind of like, you match it up to their eyeball. That's how they catch all, you know, why they're so good at what they do. They have a lateral line, and man, their eyesight is just phenomenal. Above that lateral line, that's why they hit in the up motion. Yeah, back to what I was saying though, you know, we try to get somewhere every weekend to fish, and lately we haven't been able to get off of the lake that's the closest to us, and it's just been circumstances is all. I think things will get a little better here as summer rolls on. My son's wedding is in a little less than 3 weeks from now, so it's at our house. As soon as we get that finished up with, we're gonna make some trips away for the weekend. As far as longer trips away to some of the other lakes we got in mind. One of the lakes we was going to go to yesterday, because we checked on them the day before when it was pouring rain. We're like, hey, maybe tomorrow we'll go here. And we started looking. Well, man, they were flooded in so bad that they couldn't. The ramps were flooded. So I was like, okay, well, we're not going to go there. And then we stopped at one lake because we were up near it for lunch, and we stopped, and the water was just absolutely nothing but chocolate. I mean, chocolate milk, where the water had been running through the creek that's attached to it from the, you know, on both sides of it, was running that water right through it. And it was just, I mean, just absolutely flooded, nasty water. And it was tough enough where we went yesterday trying to deal with the water conditions. Water was just dirty, you know. I was like, what is that sound? And birds are flipping right there. I'm like, man, what is that? All right, well, what is that? 5 crappie? 5 crappie. I like it. I just love catching them crappie. Love catching them crappie, but you're gonna see some videos of me. I got some students that wanna, my old buddy Kyson. I'm gonna take Kyson back out, and his twin brother. I'm gonna take his twin brother Grayson out. I worked on helping him line up a rod the other day. Had a cookout and helped him. They're excited. Then my buddy, who's got a big farm pond that I fished a lot last year at the end of the season, fished a few times anyway. His son is one of my students as well, and I told him I'll take, you know, he wants to go out on a boat. I don't know that he's ever been out on a boat, so I'm taking him out as well. Ooh. Ooh. Did he take it? What'd he do there? And he bit that twice super fast. I don't know, that might have been a bluegill. It was like boom, boom, boom. It really wasn't reeling fast. He might not have been big enough to take it. Ooh, ooh, I see that fish, and that was a crappie. He just hit that. That was definitely a crappie. Yeah, they're hanging out. Oop, dang it. 3-4 foot of water here, and I just had a crappie, and I seen it. It's a crappie for sure. I had another one hit it. I must have been reeling just a little too quick. I don't know. Didn't feel like it. They're just cruising a riprap, so who knows, man. So far, it's been kind of tough to put this jig down. They've been biting it. And I've caught five crappie on it, 2 largemouth. Little largemouth, but 5 crappie. I think only one of them probably would have been a 9-inch fish, but I don't care. I'm catching crappie. They do hit different though. They hit different than a largemouth. Largemouth hit it, they come up, you know, you can feel that they're trying to, you know, they come up out of the water. Sometimes when you hit these crappie, man, it just feels like you hit a wall and it just stops. Boom, it just thumps it and then it just stops. That's what it feels like, you know. And then there's other times that just like they try to fight, just like a, you know, the bigger they are, sometimes they fight like a largemouth, and you just kind of like, is that a largemouth? I'm a daylight guy, man. I like to get out there and get there, and I'm a believer in that morning bite. Always have been. I feel like your best bites are coming before 9 o'clock in the morning. And then it picks back up in the evening. You can catch fish. There's days that you can catch them all day long. But I mean, I'm saying that just that pre-bow, boom, 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 boom bite is just before daylight, you know, at the edge of daylight. Same thing catfishing. You can catch catfish all night long. You can catch them throughout the day. But there's certain feeding times and feeding hours that's more prominent. I think they, you know, mainly, you know, the dumb hillbilly guesstimation here, but if I was guessing, it's got to do with them going to get out of the weather when the sun comes up, the heat, everything heats up. They're going to go a little deeper, so they're trying to come up early. They're coming up feeding. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but if I was a betting man, that's what I would be betting on. In fact, I'm pretty positive about that, you know. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's plenty good enough right there. Hooked up. What is it? It looks like a crappie. It is a nice crappie. Nicer than anything else we've caught. He hit the minnow. He said, I'll eat the minnow, dude. Nah, it's about the same size. It looked bigger. He got big on me. He wasn't big. But you see that? No colors on that thing as far as spawning colors. So that's crop. What's wrong with you, my guy? There he goes. All right. I like it. See what I'm telling you? We're 15 feet from the bank, if that. They're hanging out around all these rocks and the old riprap here. So that's crappie number 6. Whatever's after that thing. He was swimming 100 miles an hour. That one's a bluegill. Oh, they're after the minnows today. Got us a bluegill. Quit, my guy. Come on. Ouch. Poke me. Alright, dude, calm down. I'm gonna put you back. You ain't big enough to eat. Hooked up. Another crappie. Another crappie. Come on, guy. All right. So I think that's number 7. Crappie, 2 largemouth. There we go. About the same size, little cookie cutter dinkaroo. Dang it. Let's do that right there. That might be better off. That might be more better. That won't affect the way I set the hook, I think, because I think it's, when I go to pick up on it, it's doing this whippy motion. Yeah. Another crappie. All right, calm down. Calm down. So that's number 8. Man, you guys are hitting it so hard. I'm getting one minnow use. All right, another little dink. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen to this pond. It's going to be dink after dink after dink because of stunted growth. All right, we're hooked up again with another crappie. We'll bring him over here this time. All right, they are stacked right there. That's fish number 8. Wait, what did I say? Fish number 8. He probably weighs close to 9. He probably is close to 9 inches. There he is again, and that's another. Is that a crappie? Sure looks like it. No, that's a largemouth. All right, we got us a little largemouth. Don't sling the minnow off. I'll reuse it. All right, well, he slung the minnow off anyway out in the water. There he goes. Man, oh man. You're hooked. Like, okay, there you are. For a little old toot. Killing them, folks.